Okay, let's try this again. We're gonna shift this to. Okay. All right, cool. Yeah, the moment I actually play some music that can't really be copywritten by like companies and shit, apparently I can't play the music through because if you disconnect the microphone, it pretty much shits all over you in stream. So you know what? We'll do that another time, or I'll probably just play that later on, or I'll probably send you a link to the band I was talking about. I'm getting some quality resolution from the stream. Holy shit. Okay. So without a doubt, I'm going to get back into this here in just a moment. You know what? I'm just going to do this. I know this band pretty much like separated back in like 20 or not. I keep saying that 2009, 2008-ish, but I'm going to actually copy and paste the link to the band I was talking about. I'm just going to do this. Boing, boing. All right. Share it on Facebook. All right, once we get that set up, we'll get right back into it. So, all right, did it go through? Cool. All right, we're through. Nice. So, with that being said, I'm going to try this position and angle because it seems a little bit more better to get my point across. This is a little bit different. We're not going to be doing the same thing as we did with Mike and Actor back in like 2019. From what I've been told on Twitter, he's a former friend of Onision, which again, I want to make that note very clear before I continue on to the Billy the Fish thing, that this isn't really about Greg, even though technically he's sort of the secondary subject to this. So I just wanted to make that completely clear because it's more about Billy the Fridge, but yes, Greg is technically a part of the issue at hand, but we're going to kind of go over and clarify some things because certain people that we know kind of call a little bit of some shady shit going on, which again, I'm not trying to be as disrespectful, but from certain things, from certain conversations that I've seen before on Twitter, which I believe are no longer there, Billy the Fridge, I don't know. I just feel like there's something a little bit more shady about this from what I was told. But yeah, Billy the Fridge, from one thing, he's pretty much a creative channel in terms of, I've seen like some of his music videos. I mean, I may not be a fan of those sort of things, but I will at least give credit where credit is due. He does actually have some interesting mix-ups in terms of music. When I say mix-up, I just mean like, mixing up rapping and pretty much in terms of that. But like, I don't watch all of his content. I'm not really that kind of a person. I'm not really a Billy the Fridge kind of guy, so I can't really jump off the hand on that. Now, I haven't really gotten to a scuffle with the dude before. I did, however, have some major disappointment with him before in terms of certain situations, which was regarding the victims of Greg, for instance. And then, of course, Stevie or some guy in 27 actually had his buttle with him before. Actually, as a matter of fact, I do have a screenshot of that from Twitter that he actually left up, which surprisingly, this is the part of the Twitter thing that was apart from the subject matter. I kind of find it weird that he still has this one, but he doesn't have the tweet of him disrespecting the victims anymore. So I guess what I would have to do is I would actually have to go back through his YouTube stuff, but we're going to go over his stream first, but we're not going to go through every single one of it because he's got two streams. One is 3 hours and 10 minutes long, and the other one is 7 hours and 20 minutes. And we're not going to go through 10 hours of streaming because you guys would be bored. You guys would be asleep already. We're only going to go through certain parts of it, and then the rest of it I'll go through personally, and I will actually get my area from there. Now, Giant Riella already picked up on this. She already touched base on certain subjects, which in regards to Billy, and I can respect her position on that. And I mean her no disrespect because she has been one of the essential members of the Randy community as well. I mean, apart from the days when you had Undertaker Freak 1127, the Archfiend, Muse Productions before Undertaker Freak and Muse Productions became, in my own perspective now, sellouts. The Archfiend and John Uriella are pretty much the only ones out of the big four that I absolutely respect. Some people may have a different perspective on it. I say, hey, that's the sort of thing we have. And hello, by the way, Chelsea, Professor Winter, Lemmy, Jack, and Kook. I know we had some other people in here as well, and sorry I had to disconnect the stream. So real quick, I don't see that video anymore. Yeah. Oh, no. This is Billy the Fridge in real life. Okay, that's his other YouTube channel. So this is the one that has streams, and I'm actually at his Twitter right now. And we're gonna go over some stuff right here too. So let's play this real quick because I want you guys to kind of hear this. Tell me if you do hear it. Hold on. Okay, I don't think people can hear it. So I'm just gonna do a secondary tactic here. If the sound doesn't go through, so yeah, let me. Is the sound not going through the mic? Hold on. Like the video I'm playing right now, is it not going through the mic? Because I seriously do not want to I don't want to restart the stream. So what I'm just gonna do. Oh, great. And then it tells me I got 20% power left. Just my fucking luck. Okay. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to play it through this. I did actually, in fact, you know what? I'll just do it through here. I'll keep the Twitter posts on here, and we'll do it like this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my charger. I'm going to bring it over here. I'm going to have this charged while I'm playing it, and then we'll just do that. That way I don't have to reset the stream, because this is bullshit, because YouTube itself is a piece of shit, because I finally got the webcam thing back, but now all of a sudden when I get the webcam stuff back, I have to go through a microphone issue. So YouTube, by the way, and Susan, fuck you. And yeah, demonetize me for that because I said fuck you. So here's what I'll do. So let's go to Billy the Fridge right here. Oh, wow. He's starting a stream right now at 3:30. Okay, well, we got a little bit of a change of plan here, because apparently he's starting a stream now at 3:30. And it's live right now. Holy crap. So we've actually got a lot to touch up upon. Hold on one second. Shit just got real. I kind of find it funny that he's starting a stream at 3:30 at the exact same time I'm starting a stream right now, which is basically observing his stream. So we're going to actually have to get caught up now on 3 different streams. Never thought I'd expect this. And how, dude, check it out. Hold on. Okay, so you guys see this? There's my video right underneath his stream. Okay.
Meme grasping for some sort of relevancy. And that's what I'm doing right now, grasping for some relevancy. Ta-da! say it if you want to listen. Stay tuned.
Okay, I'm gonna have to rewind this because I don't know exactly who he's talking to, but like, because again, this is basically right around the time I'm doing this, so I don't even know. Because this is 20 minutes past.
How you guys doing? I am. I do a little stream, talk about some of the stuff. If you guys got any questions or comments, make sure shout them out, and we'll try and get to them.
Scamming Donuts. That's the name of his charity, not charity, but his like donation stream.
We're going to drunken peasants now with unalleged pederasts. Joe, you were a pussy the whole time. You let him do that.
Okay, wait a minute. Hold on. One thing I really needed to stretch up on. This is something that Stevie had mentioned to me before. Why did it take him 5 hours to get to Greg's house? Like, I get it. If he had a flat tire, that's one thing. But why did it take 5 hours? From what I understand, and I could be wrong about this, but like in Pierce County is not really that far away from where Greg lives, right? So why did it take him 5 hours?
Well, okay. I let him talk and speak his side of things that everybody's going to fucking get. That's illegal. How was that? That's a problem. I was 15. That's illegal. Why didn't anyone say this? I was reading the fucking chat. That's illegal. We're gonna get to the bottom of this. Kai was 15. We gotta ask Kai about this.
You're all spineless fucking skid marks, and this entire shit show should be further.
Yes, exactly. That's not a
Maybe. But
But
okay, so here's another thing that Stevie did bring up with me is that every time he makes a turn at a stop sign, he puts his phone down. But the thing about it is that his phone is mounted right underneath the windshield. Like his hands are not on the phone. He has it on some sort of mount. So that way you can technically see from where he's driving. You don't see his other hand. Like he's driving with his left hand from the corner of it. If you can see right there, his other hand is obviously placed on the other side. His right hand is placed on the other side. So basically that phone or camera or whatnot is placed right there. From what I was told, because I haven't got my chance to see the stream, but what I was told by Stevie is that every time he makes a turn at a stop sign, he takes the phone or camera, he takes it down, and then he puts it back up right after making a turn, which I find kind of bizarre. So that's something I got to keep an eye on.
Subscribe to
Yeah, you're right. You know what? You didn't think about the victims even once. Oh my God! Joe, you're seeing that? Shut the fuck up.
Who's the cutie in the back seat?
That's Seth.
Okay, Tilda.
Seth did a wonderful job.
According to Google. So yeah, why did it take him 5 hours? So even, oh yeah, okay, so basically, yeah, let me pause that real quick. So basically that made the one assumption thing right that I actually thought about. Because I thought the general drive was an hour and a half. So an hour and 14 minutes. That's relatively close to an hour and a half. So why did it take him 5 hours? I find that odd.
I mean, photographic evidence of Kai, her fucking husband. All right, she showed his dick to him. Stop fucking pretending. It's time to take a stand.
This is 22 minutes ago. I'm not up to the live point yet, but this is like basically I had to rewind it.
Oh shit. What's threesomes with Chloe? I don't know who the fuck Chloe is. The fucking threesomes with Chloe, right? You fucking idiot. I don't know about the fucking threesomes with Chloe. You fucking coward. I've never heard the name Chloe until this fucking TTS. Oh my God. Get on Twitter, you fucking idiot. Don't put that shit on me. You let him.
This is part of his other stream, so we're gonna go over that too. So.
It's like a fucking moron. Fuck you. All right. Please advocate for victims. I do advocate for victims. I want you to speak out. I think that's the best thing.
Okay, hold on. So let me get this clear, because that Twitter post that I actually remember back in the day, Billy, is that you did disrespect the victims. Now all of a sudden, months later, we come to advance. You're now coming to that conclusion. Support the victims. Kind of find that a little hard to believe. I can't yell because there's people downstairs, so I'm gonna remain a little bit more calm. So I just want to make sure we're on the same page.
Was gave everybody a voice. But I've looked at Chris Hansen's conviction rate from the show. Back when he did the show, there was a lot of stuff that he had. He
Okay, and so that way we make this clear though. He's basically replaying his own stream. I guess whoever did this editing, they decided to edit his part of the stream, and now he's going over that. So I'm waiting for the part where he responds to it, and I'm really trying to figure out what he's going to be saying because again, I found it a little bit relatively odd that the moment I make a stream at 3:30, he now makes a stream at 3:30. So I found that a little bit weird.
Stop. They won't return my calls. 15? Why did no one tell me?
So what's the deal with this Chloe person?
In my self-righteous suicide, I cry when angels.
Greg has said before.
Okay, I'm fast forwarding this because
Can you tell this Joe guy to shut his fucking yap?
it's referencing me because I was spamming shit in chat and they didn't even give.
What the fuck's wrong with you? You're gonna man up.
Okay, well that part's over, so let's hear what he has to say.
This guy edited this. His name's Bill Numerator. He's got 17 subscribers. And he put that together. I thought it was really funny, even though it was taking the piss out of me. Was Keem mad? Keem was not mad.
Okay, so that's what that was about. Okay.
Keem was not mad.
Now that I understand the context of that channel taking the piss out of him, so
Yeah.
I try to take him back to court and try to sue him. I do agree with that. It's also the fact that I think he was trolling him from the beginning on that part too.
Interview that happened. I've seen clips from a ton of people. Love you, Jackie. I love everybody, honestly. Even the people who are mad. Even the people who are mad at me. I understand why you're angry.
Well, I'm not. Hold
I
on.
understand.
I'm not mad. The thing about it is, like, I can't hate or be completely disliking to a person I don't even know. But I do kind of find it a little bit funny that it took you 5 hours just to get to Greg's house from the state of Pierce County. I could be wrong if the direction or the timing of itself may be a little bit different. Okay, correct me, but I do still kind of find it a little funny. So I can't really be hateful or strongly disliking to somebody I don't know, but we've actually had our conversations before. So again, some stuff we do actually have to kind of recall upon, but you know, it is what it is.
You came up expecting me to be like Chris Hansen and get Onision to admit to all the wrong he's done.
Okay.
And I don't think I have the tools to do that. My tools are comedy. And
Well, technically, in the long run, yes, technically you actually had the tool because you got him on camera to admit some stuff that a lot of people pretty much had the very high suspicions for. So technically, you actually did get him to admit to something. So at the same time, maybe I can be disappointed because I kind of feel like, you know, maybe this wasn't necessary. But at the same time, on the other side of the coin, Billy, is that you actually did get him to say some stuff that confirmed a lot. So it's just one way I'm looking at it. But again, I'm not trying to be an asshole. Okay, I'm trying to be like just as mellow, calm as possible, because maybe there are some things I'm probably going to be yelling about, but I'm going to try to my very best to refrain, especially since I'm talking through a microphone, and that's probably going to hurt people's ears if that happens. But we haven't reached that point, and I hope we don't.
happen to have access to
Daniel is censored against the First Amendment. Yes, that is definitely correct.
So I knew if I showed up at his house, things could go.
Can you guys hear this though, too? By the way,
I think ultimately, if you look at my stream and watch it, I'm like for hours like, no, I don't want to do this. It's stupid. It's a bad idea. It's a bad idea. It's a bad idea. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this. Of course I did.
okay.
You can't fault anybody but me for going there. But I definitely thought that I could bring. Hey, big time dono. We're the dono. Life of a free spirit. Support
All right. And okay, and here's something real quick, and I will actually address this because again, I am a hypocrite for doing this, but call a spade a spade. But this is the reason why I wanted to focus more on Billy than Greg himself, because I already covered everything that I needed to cover on Greg himself. That's why he's a secondary part of the subject rather than Billy being the primary subject. Because honestly, like I wouldn't mind people like Mike and Actor right now. If they wanted to cover this, I say go ahead. No ill gain. If you want to fucking do it, do it. This is like the one time I'm going to be like, okay, cool. Not that I'm saying you can or cannot do it, okay? Because I don't dictate what people can and cannot do on here. That's not who I want to be. I'm just saying, like, by all means, like, I'm not gonna like throw piss or piss and vinegar at you. Just like the one time, like, feel fucking free because like this hits an all-time new low. I'm not necessarily talking about Billy. I'm talking about Greg himself. So I just want to keep that completely clear. So I don't know if Billy's watching this right now. So I kind of need to recall some things that, you know, we kind of spoke about like here and there, but I know you've spoken some things to certain people here and there as well too. But certain things like I even gotten into a few arguments with people because a certain argument actually popped up, by the way, which I could just pop up right now on Twitter, which I can just pop up easily. But let's just keep playing this.
Thank you, Spirit. Sweet of you.
So let's go live right now. Is it paused? Like, did he pause it?
I don't know if there was another guy that was there. I know that I talked to in chat. Juma P might be in here right now. I was going to meet up with you and everybody else there, and it was gonna be like a live IRL fan meetup. And I got a flat tire, and it all fucked off. It all fucked off, you know. And that's what set this dumpster fire into place. But yeah, back to Andy Worski's hot take on everything. I know he was watching and laughing, so let's see what he's got to say. I don't think he's making that much. Miranda says, I don't think he's making that much. Who isn't making that much? Because there are a lot of people making a lot of money if you know how YouTube views work, long-form content, hour-long content with ads, with support with Patreons.
Okay, but the thing about it is that this is one of the arguments that he says, like people just do this stuff, like yada yada yada. Like if I pull this, I want to pull the stuff on Twitter up so that way I'm not taking it out of context, which I can go to do it easily from here. But like there was a certain argument I got into is that people are claiming like, oh yeah, people are just doing it for the money. Well, I mean necessarily, like not inherently so, but not everyone is in it for the money. Yeah, this video is monetized, but guess what? It's because for once I don't have music going on in the stream, and you know, the one time I want to do that, and I'm barely making anything off of this, so why would that matter? But let me pull off the argument so I can get that. And by the way, shout out to my good friend, also Squeaky Mushroom, who's also on Twitter, by the way. He also goes by a YouTube channel, which I don't know why I forgot it. I'll pull his name up here in just a moment. Let me just go down here. Here we go. So this is the Twitter post that I actually found from Billy right here, Billy the Fridge. Yada, yada, yada. I have to go through my tweet just to get to his. Here we go. I never try to claim otherwise. I'm in the business of entertainment. Don't be fooled by others. Hold on. Here claiming that they aren't doing it for money, views as well. And this is from like an old, I guess, comment or something from Billy the Fridge. I admitted that my motivations for all my live streams are for views and money. I get it. And this is what I said. It's like, I'm not speaking as a hater, but not everybody is in it for the money. Honestly, it is what it is. And then some guy comes up to me, he's like, Repsion is in it for the money. And you know what I tell him? Take it up with him. I don't speak for everybody, but again, I will say not everyone. Because not everyone is necessarily in it for the money. Some people just do it for fun. Some people just do it because they got nothing else better to do. So, what journalistic body is not at least a very exciting costs? I do YouTube. Okay, and yeah, people do YouTube for fun, and that's a good thing. A good hobby for something for you to do, and just money isn't always everything. Now, I do have this one monetized, but is there anything wrong with doing that? No. I think what I'll just do, I'll probably just skip ahead to where he actually meets up with him and just do that. I just want to kind of continue off to where he was. Again, I would have to watch the entire stream because I don't want to take the stuff out of context. Again, I like to be fair in my judgment with this. Again,
with all the support that's being drummed up for the anti-Onision fan base, with the numbers behind there, and all the support that's being brought up by Greg's fans that are still around, Onision's fans, James fans that are still around, fuck. All that, you have a lot of money being made on both sides.
and just so the fact of the matter is that I'm not endorsed by the anti-O community. Okay, I don't like to consider myself part of the anti-O. I'm just some guy who's just frustrated with the dude. I spoke my mind out about stuff, and I already spoke my frustrations about it. But just so for the record goes, and that goes for anybody else watching me, is that I am not endorsed, or that particular community does not speak for me. I do not speak for all of them. Now, I am affiliated with a bunch of people who are a part of that, yes, but I am not a part of that. So I want to clarify and make that clear.
Keep going after Chris Hansen. Why is this investigation not finished yet? What did Onision do?
Okay, well, in all fairness, Billy, the investigation can't just wrap up like that. I mean, investigations do take time. Okay, and a lot of people be like, why isn't the investigation over and over already? And I can understand people's frustrations with that. But at the same time, investigations like this do take time, just depending on the process. We have a bunch of history all the way back from 2010 or back to 2009. It takes time. There's a lot of stuff you have to build up. There's a lot of evidence, a lot of information you have to gather up over the years. And, if you don't have enough of it, then it can plummet and it can fail. But I can understand your frustration to that. But at the same time, you can't exert pressure on that. They have to do their jobs. They have to do that. Chris Hansen has to do his job. I understand you have to do your job. But quite surprisingly, you actually got something that Chris Hansen didn't, which I don't know why he had to. Greg would talk to you despite your friendship not being, there, which I kind of find a little odd, though. So that's one of the things I wanted to touch up upon later. So just been seeing a lot of garbage from him, and I've watched a lot of Stevie's videos. I mean, I have too. I've been a supporter of Stevie too. But again, like I said, I don't like to represent myself as an anti-O. I'm just a guy frustrated. That Onion has fans still like gotcha.
The aftermath, defend the fact that they looked off. Davy George. Hey, Billy, watching from Liverpool, England. Hope all is well. Yes, Davy George.
Okay, go ahead.
$150 donation is the funniest shit. Every time I don't know, but it just didn't work out, and it spiraled into this. It's unanimous report. Why?
Oh my gosh. Okay, so basically he just replayed the fact where Greg sexually assaulted him by actually thrusting him from behind and in front. You guys may have seen that video on there. I want to see how he reacts to it.
He's pulling my hair now. First he was choking me, and it was not a simulated choke, right? It wasn't like him choking me as hard as you can, but when you're choking somebody during sex, you don't choke them as hard as you can, right? So maybe that's exactly how he chokes people, and I actually straight up wasn't simulated. I really got choked. I don't know. And I don't want to think too much about it. Fuck.
You seem to kind of take that surprisingly well. I mean, after all, again, I really do want to feel bad for the fact that Greg pulled that shit off on camera. But at the same time, I just kind of find it a little bit too odd that he took it that well. I'm not saying, oh, well, you should be, traumatized by it. I mean, at the same time, I just kind of find it bizarre that, really, do you not feel angry? Do you not feel, highly uncomfortable? Maybe by certain gestures or certain facial expressions, I can understand that, but that's something I find a little bit odd.
Oh, tons of people donating to them with TTS, text-to-speech on, and bashing Billy, calling him Billy the pedal defender, Billy, because Billy and Ben and all.
Okay, so he's responding to, I guess, a video that was making a response to that.
Right. I went to his house. I'm trying to get content out of him. He gave me content. He gave me what I came for. There was another time during the sword fight where I sworded him into the wood, and as I was doing it, I'm like, I could just go for a blow and send him back into the fucking woods, right? I could send him back right into the fucking woods, and that would be content. But I didn't, because I didn't want to have to deal with assault charges, criminal case. Unlike Repsion and Chris Hansen, I'm not in the Onision drama business. So a lawsuit to me or a court case with me probably wouldn't make as much fucking money unless I decided to be like, guys.
Okay, hold on a second. Why is it about money at this point? Why is it about money? I'm not focused. I don't think people are really focused about money, unless in terms of Repsion actually having to pay, his lawyer, which strangely enough, he actually got a lot out of that shit. But I'm not concerned about money. Money is not my concern. Okay? At this point, money is not my concern. Well, actually, Repsion did get out of debt, though. His goal was he had to pay $2,500, and he got like 10 times the amount. It should be on his Twitter still if you want to see that, too.
I was taking me to court. And they'd be like, oh, Billy, that's what you get for hanging out with Onision. I'm like, oh, okay.
I think people are bashing you because it took you this long to get out of that friendship with, Greg, because he's ruined a lot of relationships back in the past, and it's taken you that long to do it. Back in 2019. Oh, actually, that made it sound better. Back in 2019 or 2020-ish, it could have been between the date. Just give me a approximate time that actually happened. But it took you that long. I think that's what people are getting a little bit flustered about, because it took you that long. After all of that stuff back then to now. I think it's just something you might need to reflect on. And if I'm wrong, feel free to correct me, because it would actually be very effective to have an exact timing and date where you actually cut them off. Was it like somewhere in like October, August, or whatnot? Like somewhere between August and October from last year? It could have been one of those two. Getting yelled at and everything.
I don't know, man. It was an unwinnable situation. Why did he give you content and not call the cop?
Unwinnable situation, then why did you go over there? If it was to ask him questions and get content, you got to consider the fact you ended your friendship with him, last year? What else did you think was going to happen? Well, kind of unexpectedly, he actually gave you technically what you wanted in a certain way. But an unwinnable situation, why did you get yourself involved in it then? Now, correct me if I'm wrong, and I'm just trying to recall an idea here, or recall something that I may have seen or may have heard. But were you planning on live streaming in a courtroom? Because if you were, why would you do that? Because I've seen many court cases. I have never seen a court case actually documented on a phone, or unless you've watched Judge Judy and all that other shit. But again, why? Why would you do that? I think the idea of that is completely mundane, in my opinion. Which, again, if that was the case, then tell me. But did you plan on doing that? From what I recall.
Melissa B. This is why, okay?
He was egged on by his audience. Gotcha.
I ended my friendship with him August, September.
Okay, so August, September. So it took you that long to 2019. It took you all the way till August and September, around close to my birthday, by the way, to do that.
watching the latest BP episode and saw the supercut with you and Joe, and I laughed my gingerly off.
Yeah, that supercut was very funny, very well edited. Very well edited. Very funny.
Yeah, you would actually have to get a judge's approval.
What's the guy's name? Check him out. But yeah, I lost my train of thought. Thanks for the dono. We're friends of Onision for a very long time. That's it. Yeah, the reason he came out and did this with me is because we were friends, and he's been trying to reach out to me a lot, right? And he's gone through other people to try and reach out to me, and that's one of the reasons why I was like, this is a bad idea. I shouldn't go there.
So how many times has he reached out to you before? And after all of this, you've been friends with the dude a long time, and it took you till 2019. Let me get to you. All of his exes, along with Sear, along with Social Repose, Jacqueline Glenn, anybody else, Shane Dawson, everybody else, they got themselves out. It took you that long. Again, I'm not trying to sound like an asshole, but it took you that long to finally see that. Billy, don't take this the wrong way. And like again, I'm trying to remain in complete composure here, but it just sounds like a BS excuse to me. The fact that you also made a stream, you disrespected the victims, and then all of a sudden you ended your friendship with Greg. Again, good on you for doing that, but like it took you that long when pretty much you could see a lot of stuff coming from miles away. And again, granted to the notion that some of this stuff we didn't really know, which is like really downright criminal into the abysmal part of hell that we found out about, all of us. But there was a lot of stuff before that that you should have questioned right there and then, because there was evidence of it. Since the forum stuff back then when he was raiding underage girls' bodies, but now all of a sudden we jump into 2019 to August, September, and it took you that long. It took you that long to break off. All right. Hookers and blow. Robert Frost, dude. Oh my gosh. I miss the ever living fuck out of you right now. God, it still hasn't entered refresh. No, well, she's fucked either way.
Say to him as far as our friendship went, you know.
Still love you, Robert.
We had a talk, and at the end of that talk, I was like, I can't work with you anymore.
Okay, so let me get this straight again. So you've been working with the dude ever since all that other stuff, and so were you fully aware of everything that he did, and you still went with it? You still went with everything all the way till 2019. That does not make a good case for you, buddy. I love you too, Robert. I know you like busting my balls, but you know what? I respect you. You know that. Actually, hold on real quick. I've been kind of beating myself up because I kind of feel like I haven't been a good friend to you, Robert. In a way, I kind of been like having anxiety about that. So, you know, but I'm kind of glad you're actually here. I missed you.
That evolved into no contact, right? Shortly after that, it was no contact. And I knew showing up there, he might come out and do this because I didn't know what he wanted to say to me when he called me earlier this week because I slept through his call. I don't know if I would have answered anyways, but I never responded back. I never called back. And I knew that maybe he had something he wanted to say to me. And when he walked up outside, you know, I was hoping he was going to be confrontational. I would have been able to work better with confrontation, but he walks up and I can see in his face and his eyes that he's happy to see.
Oh yeah, we're gonna watch that too. So glad you're kind of bringing this up.
Me, and it just makes me like super uncomfortable right off the bat.
I think anyone would be uncomfortable near the dude, whether if he's giving you a look or not. Apart from everything that he's done, I don't think you need any hints. So it shouldn't take like over between 5 to 10 years to figure that out. I think anyone could figure that one out like right on the noggin.
I'm trying to get through this as best I can. And yeah, some of the old habits came out, laughing and joking. That's what we used to do, and I tried to get back on track.
And also to bring up, because Loney actually makes a very good point, by the way, Billy. He actually got a lot more exposure in 2019. Like, if this was a point where you actually broke off in the very early 2019, maybe this would have been a little bit harder to see. Like, your story and your experiences and all that, and your friendship would have been a lot harder for me to spot. Guaranteed. But it took you till September and August, and I caught along to that because Stevie caught along to some things that you were saying, and you took, and yeah, I can agree. Sounds harsh, but let me bring up something to you. And this is back in the day, so the timing of this isn't really right because the recording of this, or pretty much the screenshot of this, is not completely accurate with the timing because this is about months ago. From what my friend said, when you suck your abusive friend's dick so hard you start spinning out their same bullshit rhetoric. Even says, we all are humans. Sometimes we attack other humans. May seem as a monster, but you are an angry mob. Mind your pitchforks. The blurred line between valor and cruelty is thin. And that was pretty much defending Greg at that point, which it should have been obvious that with the evidence stacked against him, it shouldn't have really been to that. Flurfin listened to the victims, and then he posts this. Billythefridge says, maybe this has nothing to do with him, but y'all wouldn't know that because you assume everything. Drop your pitchforks and chill the fuck out. Billy, again, the history with this dude has been over about 10 to 11 years since, like, what, 2011? I mean, I was only around for like 8 years of this shit, but there's a lot of people who've been around longer than me. I don't think it really took someone like, them or me to really figure that out. I think anyone else with the enlightened mind or a certain percentage to figure that out. So, I get my pitchfork I needed for the hay. Do you think Chris Hansen made a significant impact on it? Actually, if you really think about it, it's because of Chris Hansen all this began to happen. So even if Chris Hansen didn't get that interview he wanted, if it wasn't for the fact that Chris Hansen was doing the investigation as such, then it wouldn't come to a point where everyone got interviewed, and then to the point where Billythefridge started interviewing Greg. So if anything, with everything that is compiled, if it wasn't for people like Stevie, if it wasn't for people like Repsion, if it wasn't for people like Jacqueline Glenn, Billy Webb, or the other victims as well, if it wasn't for Chris Hansen, then other things like this would not have happened. So Chris Hansen is really more to be given the credit for it. Now, I'm not going to go into Chris Hansen's controversial crap because, again, it's not about him, but I kind of do appreciate the fact that he's doing the investigation with this along with the FBI. And the fact that Greg himself still has not paid off for the wetlands, by the way. So somebody is fucked. Fucked. So he's got that to be looking for. What else? Truly disturbing that all the books that Greg wrote are not even fiction, but they're actually showing his real thoughts on how disturbing he is. Yeah. It's kind of, well, I think it was a partial reason why I kind of wrote my Western story a bit, was to kind of challenge his book to see which would be better, which is technically, that was a partial reason, by the way. So I decided to write a little bit of something like that, but mine's more based on fiction and shit. Okay, so I'm going to play a little bit more of this, and then we're going to play the Onision Billythefridge confrontation.
As much as possible, I was uncomfortable, so I just naturally giggled and nodded and laughed in certain moments that maybe I shouldn't have.
And I also forgot to mention, like, if that shit was uncomfortable, you had a cameraman and you had another guy with you. And if this shit was going to get so out, if you were uncomfortable, then why didn't your two friends help you? Why didn't they help you? So that's another thing that's kind of going through my mind. And hey, by the way, Shades, you had a guy with you. You had a cameraman with you in the car. You met up with Greg. There was no one else there. If you were, I mean, I get it. I can understand the highly uncomfortable part because, yeah, you're next to someone you considered once a friend. But you need to remember, there's 3 of you and 1 at him. If that shit really made you uncomfortable, if that shit really disturbed you, the fact that he was sexually assaulting you, number one, I'm going to say this, and not a lot of people are going to agree with me, but you would have had every right to actually punch that motherfucker in the face after what he did to you on camera, if that was the case. Because there's 3 of you and him. If people had a problem with what he was doing to you, or if you had a problem with what he's doing to you, then by means, punch the fucker right in the face. If you don't want him sexually assaulting you in the front or in the back, then by all means, defend yourself. Don't let that fucker do anything to you. The general rule, your body is your own, not anyone else's. So Shades, we're kind of getting caught up because Billy the Fridge actually made a live stream now at the same time I kind of did, which I'm not sure if that's a coincidence or whatnot, which I'm just going to assume it is. But we're going to be kind of catching up to some things because his streams are over 7 hours and 3 hours long. So we're just going to catch certain parts of this. But I'm kind of getting caught up to what he said because he said he was uncomfortable and that he didn't, it was kind of weird for him because he didn't know how to react, which at the same time is kind of a bullish thing because you had 3 people. There's 2 people with you. There was Billy the Fridge himself. He had his friend Joe, and then he had the other dude, which I guess was the cameraman. So if Greg himself was doing that shit to him and he was highly uncomfortable with it, why didn't his friends do anything about it? Or him for that matter? I can understand that there's a fight or flight response, and sometimes you're kind of you're shaken up and you can't do anything about that. I can understand that. But what kind of trumps the entire argument with this is that you had 2 people with you, 2 friends, and they didn't do shit. You couldn't just say, hey, what the fuck are you doing? Or like, get the fuck off of him or I'm going to fucking punch you. That right there, you would have actually had a legal means to punch him right in the fucking face. Because if you did not want him doing that to you, then a few things. Number one, obviously, you should have had your friends come in and help pull him off of you. Or number 2, which again, understandable because if you were shooken up by it, but if you had the means, sock the motherfucker in the face. You were there to give him questions. That was it, right? Not to be rough, not to do anything, just to ask him questions, not for him to violate you. Okay? He was a little soft on him. I can sort of agree with that one because I did see some questions on there, and I don't really think he kind of delved too much into it. And again, I'm not really trying to bash the dude, but there are some things that I'm finding a little bit. I'm having a little bit of trouble trying to piece together here.
And if you guys want to lynch me over a giggle or a nervous no.
And see, I'm not trying to lynch you or anything like that, but I am trying to clarify the point that you had people with you that could have actually helped you out. Why didn't they do anything? You could have had help. You couldn't be like, hey, Greg, get off of me. If not, Joe, can you help me? Or cameraman, whoever the hell that was, help me, please. Or both of you, help me. Instead of letting him do that to you, have your guys pull him off. I'm not trying to bash you for that, but like you said, you had 2 people with you that could have helped you out with that crap. If he was going to get in your face about it, those 2 people could have at least been right there and pulled him right off of you. Maybe we didn't see that. I don't know. I haven't checked the stream. I haven't checked that, but that's what we're going to be doing here in just a moment. So far, nothing.
You probably shouldn't have done that, Bill Fridge. But I did that, and now I have Zoltan's curse. Guy tried to kill me, broke my tripod. Because I put myself in a shitty situation.
Billy, again, I can't stress this. First of all, on the other side of the coin, again, I understand that. But you had 2 people with you. 2. First of all, if you were highly uncomfortable with the situation, why didn't you actually bring any like protective weapons or something like that with you, for one? Now, it's a stupid kind of a question. I can understand it. But again, 2 other people, 2 witnesses. You had 2 people. The guy could have dropped the fucking camera, for one, and pulled the guy off of you. Number 2, you had Joe. Whatever the fuck whatever fucking use he has. And you had a video camera of evidence now. I kind of find it surprisingly that he gave you pretty much that sort of action and the evidence, by the way. So at the same time, props to you. I'm not here to lynch you and I'm not here to bash you. But at the same time, what the fuck? If there was dude, if I saw a recording of you defending yourself from him sexually assaulting you, like you punching him in the face or then pulling you off and trying to pull him off, by all means, I would have been like, okay, cool. Greg gets his just desserts. Because he's giving you what you want, which means he's consenting to interviewing you, which means that you're not trespassing or anything. You're not violating anything. You were giving him questions. You were obeying the law legally because he's giving you what you want. But if he's going to come up to you and sexually assault you by humping you from the front and from the back, and your 2 friends aren't doing anything about it, then what the fuck? Then it's really not yourself that you need to be blaming that for that situation. Now, there are other things I can actually be talking about, but if anything, I'm pissed at your 2 fucking friends. What kind of friends are they if they don't fucking help you out? If anything, I wanted to punch them in the face because they weren't doing shit. No, they were yelling and arguing and shit like that. Ha ha ha. When in fact, they themselves could have been doing something for you by pulling him off of you. Be like, hey, Greg, can you not get the fuck off? Because you're not making a good case for yourselves by sexually assaulting somebody. And if you felt highly uncomfortable by that, by all means, I'm with you there. But you had 2 people with you and they did not do shit about it.
And I'm going to put myself in more questionable situations, I'm sure.
It's actually your friends that are in more questionable situations than you right now, so.
Hey, B, it's Gavin. Hey, Gavin. Hey, B, it's Gavin. Funny how it seems everyone's forgotten what an internet persona is. LOL. You're doing great, man. Almost done with my script.
Internet persona? We didn't see you get sexually assaulted by... So what is it? An internet persona sexually assaulting another internet persona? It's basically Billy being assaulted by Greg sexually? I'm not talking to Billy. I'm talking to the person that pretty much donated to him. So what the fuck?
By the way, hey, thank you, brother. Let me know when that script's finished. But yeah, I put myself in situations that I'm uncomfortable with, partially for entertainment, but also because it makes me a better person to be uncomfortable, right? Like,
I mean, I don't disagree with that. I mean, I'm not trying to involve religion, but like, just in general, sometimes you have to get out of your comfort zone. I agree with that, definitely. But, you know, there are certain limitations when it comes to uncomfortability. And there was a situation that really could have been avoided right there if your 2 friends had stepped in. I can't stress that enough. They did nothing.
it makes getting out of my comfort zone makes me deal with situations better.
Because if it was me that was being fucking sexually assaulted by Greg, I would have punched him in his fucking face. And from what I've seen right now, that guy is actually pretty much my fucking height. I'm 5'6". And from what I'm looking at, he looks about like 5'7", which means I could have knocked that fucker right out. I'm so, like, I've been, like, holding myself back because I feel like I can't even beat somebody in a fight. But, like, looking at a guy like that, I think I could take him on. I'm just saying that, okay? And I'm not trying to be this internet tough guy, but I'm just saying from the look of it, from comparing Repsion's height to his height, holy shit. But I'm just saying, if it was me in that situation, I would have punched him right the fuck out because I would not want that.
Going to Onision's house was stupid. It shouldn't have been done. But in the back of my head, I'm like, it might make...
I mean, yes, but at the same time, I do actually have to credit you because you actually got him to admit some shit. You did. All right, I'm gonna let this play for about 2 more minutes, and then we're just gonna hop over to the confrontation.
Be a better
2 more
person
minutes.
to go through this test, right? To put myself in this. So that's ultimately why I said yes. You know, I can't say I was bullied into it or whatever. I definitely have responsibility for all that. I didn't want to, and you could see in the fucking thing how much I didn't want to, but ultimately I did it, and that's on me.
Okay. I mean, at least you
What they
admit
expect
to
you
it.
to. I mean, you're a known internet clown. You're a clown. You're a clown. I'm like, yeah, I'm a dead meme, dude. Yeah, I don't know. This guy watched the whole thing and talked a bunch of shit because his name's Stay Negative, right? You kind of knew what was coming. You had to have known it was coming. But I wonder if I can put my little fat body over a little more. Hey, now we can see his face a little better.
Okay, let's see. Got about 45 more seconds before we go out of this one. We'll just end it right there. Okay, so here's what we'll do now. So I'm basically going to go to the confrontation stuff. We're going to skip the whole drive thing. I'm not concerned about the drive, and it's over 7 hours or 3 hours from the other stream. That's very long. We're not going to wait 3 hours and 7 hours just to get to the point. We are just going to get to the point as it is. So let me type this up real quick. No, but I will catch up on Billy the Kid back for some Western history. But in the meantime, let's get caught up here. I would have done the same thing. Oh, and the thing about it is it's daytime when he's driving. So 5 hours, I kind of find that weird because it's nighttime. Because 3 hours into this stream, his two friends are in the car. Okay, we're at 4 hours. Gotta let it load. So how are we doing right now? I'm waiting for it right now. Okay, so they're at his house right now. At night.
You know, that's what they say. They can slither all over you, turn your heads wherever they want. You just let him. Did you guys turn TTS off? I thought he was about to. I gave up pretty tough.
Oh, okay, so this is around the time they're talking about that Chloe chick, so which I don't know. Someone please give me some info on what the fuck they're talking about on that. Okay.
What I was laughing at, if I was
There's 46 minutes left on this stream.
The skinny one loves children and protects them. The guy with the beard is a hero.
I thought we were gonna get our asses.
Seth Merriman, strong. Silent types are hot, plus the beard is sexy.
Okay, so basically that entire stream was basically just ugh. All right, so we'll just go to the 3 hour one. So basically, like I said, there was 2 streams. That entire stream that I just pretty much scraped through was basically just them driving. They were at his house, I guess. And then they went to get something to eat. Before then, they were talking to a security guard or a police officer. So let's go to the aftermath. All right, so this is a continuation. What the fuck? All right, we're going back. Maybe I missed something because this is getting fucking frustrating. He has 7 hours of footage. I try to go through the fucking damn thing. Okay, here we go. Okay, I totally like. It's easy to miss. Like you blink and you miss it. So here it is right now. So I'm gonna back up as far as I can and slowly as I can. Okay, here we go.
First in the cops. Private roads, the sheriff's have been called. Good. Oh, good. They don't belong to the county. These are not public roads. These are the key pays for them. You guys need to go. That's true.
Okay.
That's very cops are coming. That's the first sensible thing I've heard all night. So we should. Yeah, we should wait here.
Okay, so we're at that part where they're about to go talk to him. So there's one thing I'm looking at is that they're talking to, I guess, a police officer maybe, or the police are being called.
Leave donations on so I can allegedly call the alleged groomer an alleged pedophile.
Well, yeah, they gotta leave that in. She's watching. I assume if the sheriff's coming, we should wait for him. She's part of the collective. I know. You know that was just a show. I'm not sure what. Get in position so they know you're not going to fight. Oh, she's watching. Oh yeah, she's watching. Oh, she's watching. She's a fan. So she, yeah, I don't know.
At some point, is it me or is it Greg just not taking any of this seriously? How's he dressed walking into court? Triumphing that thing with Billy the Fridge is just treating him like a joke. I mean, at the same time, props for Billy, but at the same time, like, you know, you have some horrible fucking friends.
Billy makes Seth film the content. He's
Oh, so the cameraman is named Seth. Okay, so Joe and Seth. That's their name. Okay. So Joe and Seth, you guys are fucking horrible friends. I'll tell you that shit.
He's their friend.
Is this the sheriff here? No. I feel like we should wait for the sheriff. Oh, wait up. Oh, no. She is there at the end of the road. Now they're blocked. We can't possibly leave. I don't want to.
You guys are going to get clowned for months for this.
Damn it.
Foreshadowing.
Don't shoot! Don't shoot!
Oh, here we go. Here we go. Yep. Here we go.
Oh my god. We tried to make it to court and we got there late. Oh my god. Thank you. We were gonna come see you in court.
Sorry. It's been playing so much.
Might be karma.
Dude, I was like, no offense to you.
Yeah.
I was like, that guy's fat. You're losing weight. But I was like, that guy's fat. And I recognize that car. I think that's Billy.
Yeah. Is that chick freaking out on you? Yeah.
You know, for someone who cut off their friendship with the dude, they seem to be having this, at first, calm conversation.
If the cops got called, I'm willing to talk to the cops.
Well,
Apologize.
that's a no trespassing sign. You're within 50 feet.
Okay, so technically they have trespassed, so okay. That part I didn't see.
If it's a private community, then they should kick Onion Boy out if they don't want problems.
When I call you?
Well, no, I definitely haven't, right? I don't know what to down here.
It's actually Kyle.
I just want to say.
Well, then why didn't Greg say, hey, you need to fucking leave? Why didn't he say that?
But I understand. I actually love you.
There he is, the legendary alleged pedophile signed by donations.
Oh, there we
Please,
go.
Karen.
That's really our life.
Yeah.
This is psycho what you're doing.
Well, it's kind of fucked
This
up.
is actually kind of psycho.
Do you want to shoot us?
I don't know who this guy is. He's within 50 feet of no trespassing.
Stay
This
back.
guy's a
We will
resident.
defend ourselves.
Oh, God. There's the sheriff.
Who's this?
That's the sheriff.
I don't know. It might be
The sheriff was called? Is it 50 feet from no trespassing?
You guys gotta know your
Hi,
laws.
Petanisha, nice shoes.
Okay, hold on one second. So let me pause this so that way we don't have to keep hearing the Billythefridge thing going off again. But okay, so in some regards, and I'm not saying this in defense of the fucking dude, but 50 feet. Okay, so you're technically trespassing. I think it's 50 feet from the house all the way up towards where the entrance of the of the road is up the hill. So you're not really supposed to trespass through that, because if it's really a private lane, you can't really go through that. So at the other side, as much as I really despise the dude, not really supposed to trespass. But it's still taken account for. If the guy is sexually assaulting you, then by legal means, you can knock him the fuck out.
I have to press charges.
She might though. Like she was watching the entire time. She pulled up behind us, and she was like,
If I was you guys, I wouldn't be here with them. But then again, I'm a scared little bitch. So.
I just, if I leave and my car has been reported to the sheriff, I'd rather have it taken care of before I'm on the road. I don't know. Is that weird?
Hey, Greg, why don't you take a seat?
Don't press charges again, Greg. Damn it. You're right. We're within 50 feet. We're not.
Subscribe to Augie RFC.
Oh, now I can understand why this stream is getting so fucking disliked right
You
now.
need to know that I'm a predator. Well, now that I'm here and I came all the way to your house, if there's anything you want to talk about on camera, you have me.
If he did trespass, why would? That's actually kind of a bigger question here. Holy crap. Or maybe the neighbors knew who Chris was. That's another thing. Or maybe the neighbors weren't there at that time. And not to mention, with an investigation going on, that is a bit different because he works with the authorities. Technically, the authorities and the FBI can pretty much work together with police. So I think there's a little bit more of a difference between, with law enforcement and then someone who's formerly friends with somebody that has no connections to like the FBI or to the police, as far as I'm aware. Yeah.
I got a flat
You know
tire.
how many fucking girls with dyed hair there was there?
I saw a photo, yeah. I saw a photo.
Greg, stop claiming videos, fucker.
Okay, well, there's one I can be behind.
The whole way here, they're like, "You're a bitch if you turn around." And I'm like, "I know."
Yeah.
We responded to peer pressure. Cowards.
How do you sue the wrong Chris Hansen?
I think we need to go to jail.
I know. I fucking hate when people do that. I'm going to turn the volume down so it's...
Onishin, why didn't you care about your daughter?
Jeez, oh my gosh, does Greg look like a fucking wannabe reject of what's his name? He's off of Married with Children. He happens to be like Marcy Darcy's husband, but he looks like a cheap knockoff of him. Oh, fuck off with that shit. Okay, so okay, hold on, wait. Okay, so that pretty much takes off the thing about he basically just waived off the 50 feet trespassing thing for one. So technically now by legal means, him doing that shit to him, or like, sexually assaulting him, has a little bit more of a understanding. So basically they actually got the permission from him. So basically he waived that off. So... Well, see, the thing about it is I don't have that for Super Chat. I don't know how that's activated. That's why I'm trying to get my computer built and stuff. I'm trying to do some stuff like Stevie, but Super Chat for me is not like that. It's like silent, or it's just like standard. So I don't really have anything like that right now.
You, James, first really do feel better.
Did you see us on camera? I saw the light come on.
Can you stop?
Wait a minute. Okay, to Greg right now. You nodded your head in response to what Billy said, that you saw us come. Look at this. This angle's different, but I want you to take a look at something. So imagine this angle right here, flipped. Hold on a second. He said he saw them coming from down that angle. Again, the angle where the left side of the window is from the house, basically from where his kid fell from. So now all of a sudden he's got a camera installed onto the fucking window that his kid supposedly fell out. I don't mean supposedly. I mean, yeah, definitely his kid fell out of the window, but he now has a camera pointing in the fucking direction facing that way, and he can see them coming. What? That's to Greg, not to Billy, but to Greg. What? Are you fucking joking me? Are you fucking joking? Please tell me this is sarcasm. Please tell me this is sarcasm.
There's some weight to lose. The only reason I was like sure that it was you is because you texted me. I was like, all right.
Billy sit him down and ask questions about grooming.
Since I saw you last, only like maybe 10 or 2 pounds.
Greg go get fucked by your dog again.
James, go get fucked by your dog.
It's Greg, by the way, you cocksucker.
All right, because I got fucked by my.
You disgusting pedo. Also, turn off TTS.
TTS? They don't want it on? Okay, I'm supposed to ask you.
Augie RFC wants all missions cock.
I didn't prepare this. I didn't prepare this. I didn't prepare anything. I pretty much like.
All right, I'm fast forwarding. I can't fucking bear that shit.
And I'm sitting here like looking at my phone and I'm like texting someone like this motherfucker is pulling me into the bathroom. And then I put on shit, I don't have that phone. If you guys want, I'll send you the video. But I turned on my camera phone and it's just like playing the things that he's saying to me. He says, "Look, over." He's like rambling on. He's like, "Yo, just say one word," and I'm just like, and then he's like, "Fucking." I walked down to the courtroom. He's like, "Last door." Telling me where to get how to get to the court. He's not just following me around. I was like, "Jesus Christ, this is the shittiest, weirdest situation."
Weirdest situation coming from a guy talking about being in a fucking bulletproof vest, a beanie, and an Adidas sneakers in a courtroom.
He had a smirk on his face. He was very smirk. He's balding. Is what I noticed. He's balding. No offense, balding's a perfectly natural thing. I'm just saying. I made observations. I don't know what it was. He's balding and he's gaining some weight. I noticed.
Because he's eating.
Those are the only observations.
He's eating good. He's making a lot of money. He's making a lot of money.
He is.
He's making a lot of YouTube money. He's eating good.
He's making James bread.
James Brand. So, are you gonna like make a YouTube video saying that YouTubers stalked you at your house today and make a bunch of money off this?
I don't think I've made that video.
This one, right? This one here, because we technically saw it.
No, this might actually be the last time I've actually seen on camera.
Really? Really?
You're tiring. My face. We're time with face.
You gotta start doing like toy reviews.
I'm a gamer.
Oh, when you
YouTube.com/bro.
No free promo.
When he's gonna translate.
No free promo. This is
Talking about someone being. Oh, sorry.
Know when the justice will be out.
Talking about someone being bald, fat, yet look at him. Oh, dude.
Like that's what Chris Hansen said online.
Right.
And
Tell me the laptop story.
I heard that Vince had the laptop for like a month.
Wasn't it? I thought they turned it into the police case.
I don't know. I heard that they had a whole bunch of.
First the laptop was
Okay, I heard there was a bunch of incriminating evidence on you on that laptop, and it sat there, and they accidentally deleted it. So you got lucky. You got lucky that it got accidentally.
They accidentally deleted it?
I don't know. I heard that something happened to it.
That's crazy. Did they even know whose laptop it was before it was in their possession?
I don't know.
It was a crappy old
Am I hearing this right?
crappy old MacBook that hadn't been used in a very long time.
I don't know.
We're talking like, you know.
Are you dating it? Are you dating it to suggest that the laptop was old enough that all the underage girls on there are now legal? Is that what you're saying?
It's not my laptop.
Oh.
It's someone else's laptop. Yeah, no. My laptop is not that. I was gonna say, I actually have many laptops, and I never gave them to anyone. That was sold. No.
You want want to fight?
I was accused of downplaying ex's
fight?
laws.
You want to fight? You want to hold this? You want to fight? You want to fight?
Hey, that would be good for like a video. Picture of you fighting me in front of my house.
Shit, he's winning. He's winning. He's winning. He's winning. He's winning. He's winning. He's winning.
Oh, you're killing me. Here, let's do a few punches to my face.
Damn it.
But what about the victims?
Okay, from what I just saw there, you had the ability to lift the fucker up with your bare fucking hands. Yet the moment he thrusts into you from the front and from the back, you just stood there. And your two friends didn't do anything either. So my question, Billy, is what the fuck? What the fuck? Fight or flight. Yet you technically got into a grapple with him, which I'm pretty sure that was play fighting, but you had the ability to lift the fucker up and drop him on his fucking back. Yet the guy thrusts into you and you did nothing. Yeah, you had the ability to break the fucker. Not that I'm saying do it, but you just so this to me tells me that you have more than enough strength to break the fucker off you, and you did nothing. Again, I'm not going to disassociate the possible fact that maybe you were kind of traumatized by it a bit, or you were highly uncomfortable and you froze up in fear. But again, and this is not disrespecting you of weight or whatnot, but I'm just saying you actually have the capability and strength to lift the fucker up. You could have knocked him the fuck out in like 3 different ways. Fist, grabbed him, threw him down, or you could have just tackled the son of a bitch. You didn't do any of that. Could have at least said, hey, don't touch me. And if you kept doing it and he tries to violate you, yeah, knock the fucker out.
This is not a joke. This is not a joke.
Bill, you're mocking.
I know.
Billy, you're canceled.
I'm canceled. God, I don't know what to do. I wanted to.
This isn't a joke. You're making
It's not a
fun.
joke.
How could you?
Yeah,
It's terrible.
there's nothing funny about this.
Yeah, you're laughing. I hear you laughing.
Not with the victims.
And you're standing next to me. This is like
I
insulting.
know. I know.
I'm such a cancer. You know, I've been canceled, and my cancellation's getting on you.
Do you have any apologies for anybody, or you feel bad for anything you've done?
I apologize to everyone I've ever met. Fuck. Especially the people I still know.
Damn it.
Those among all the people I still know. Like for you.
I agree, Trades. I agree.
I'm sorry. You were always ever just good to me. And look what I did. I made you look bad. Because I fucked an adult.
This is not.
Yeah, but the thing is, they say that the girl
They're saying that you're grooming that person,
was
right? Like that's what they're saying. That's
Okay.
that's the
Okay.
problem they have.
Okay.
Here we go.
So when you accuse someone of something, you should probably like prove it, right? And the only thing you have is me treating that person like shit on camera, ever.
You had a fucking NDA. You gave Sarah a fucking NDA, dude. Again, secondary subject of him, but again, going to Greg for a moment, you gave her an NDA. And there's already stacks of evidence that she pretty much brought against you, and you still want to dismiss all of it like it's some fucking joke to you? Fuck you.
Treat someone like shit is because you don't want to be with them. Because they're not the right age. And you also have no examples of treating them like a daughter. Because I drove someone to their job a few times.
But didn't you adopt her?
No. Here's the thing.
You didn't adopt.
Here's the thing. You guys know damn well I have everyone I know sign NDAs, pretty much. Okay?
Admits that part.
People say NDAs don't matter unless you take them in and notarized. Right? That's what they say. But really, it's all about, verbal agreements can be held in court, yada, yada, yada.
Sure.
If you have a medical waiver, okay, not notarized, not anything.
Sure.
It's just a medical waiver. It says, if this person gets hurt, you can take him in. Are you their father?
But a medical waiver isn't the same thing as an NDA, you stupid fuck. An NDA is a non-disclosure agreement. A medical agreement and another thing can't really be disclosed publicly because that's private information. An NDA is pretty much you telling them that they can't do shit once they have it signed. You didn't have it notarized. Greg, you're a fucking idiot.
No, you're not their fucking father. You're not their dad. If you're not acting. Oh, so my accountant is my mom. They got a power of attorney on me. If I fuck my accountant, then
If your accountant
It's
is
something
your mom,
awful.
they think that's why you're having all the tax problems. Your mom didn't do a good enough job. If you're
So wait a minute. So you can't pay off the wetlands, yet you still have connections to an accountant, which is your mom, who happens to be a massage therapist too. What?
is your mom, you think she's the reason you're having all these tax
This is where I can kind of give Billy the credit for,
no, I
in some way.
I have a professional because
So
I used
your
to-
mom,
I used to use TurboTax, and then my mommy saved me with her accounting skills.
Yeah, because you blamed TurboTax for your problems, and then you turned to mommy to help you get out of those problems, which you still can't even pay off the wetlands. So your mommy did a shitty job. So fuck you both.
used.
Right. You should be confused because basically everything you've heard is absolute bullshit. Not coming out of my mouth.
But then, like, you definitely are an asshole, and you are.
Not
You. That's the problem.
See,
That's
okay,
the
if I
problem.
fucked you
Yeah.
and you said I groomed you, I would say yes.
Damn it.
Same with you. I mean, I've been more
Like,
like
you admitted you were an asshole to that person, right? You admitted
was
that you
awful.
were awful,
I apologize.
and
to
you've been awful to people before too.
them. right around 18 and a half.
Yeah.
I said sorry. I was like profusely apologize. Actually, I think it was a little bit before 18. Yeah. I was like sorry for the way I treated you because that was really mean, but I had to keep you away from me. And they said, oh yeah, you're right. I mean, I get it, but you're right. They kept asking me why. Like it took a while to get through, but eventually they understood that I had to be mean to them so they wouldn't get close to me because I didn't want to be close to them because I was uncomfortable. I mentioned Meg Griffin. I used to call them Meg Griffin all the time. And Drew Carey from the Drew Carey Show. Basically compare them to everything unattractive. Just because I was that mean person who wanted them to stay away from me. And everyone who was around us saw it too.
I know. That's one.
Nobody ever interviews the people who are still in my life.
That's one thing I heard from people is that you were always.
No one ever interviews the people that are still in your life. You had Billy got interviewed by Chris Hansen, Billy Webb. You had not Laney. You had Sarah interviewed by Chris Hansen. You had Jacqueline Glenn interviewed by Chris Hansen. You had Repsion interviewed by Chris Hansen. You had Stevie interviewed by Chris Hansen. All these people actually played a critical part of your life because your life is a fucked up piece of shit, by the way, Greg. Anyway, transitioning off of Greg, we're going back to Billy. The fridge.
That's how you groom some.
That's like reverse psychology. So like, if you're nice to them, then it means you want to fuck them. If you're mean to them, it means you want to fuck them. If you're just normal to them, it means you want to fuck them. And you can't win.
How often have you met somebody that you didn't want to fuck?
I guess so.
It sounds like
Kind of surprised that the audio is doing better. It's because I'm playing off of this, and I don't really want to play it off that because you won't be able to hear it.
The narcissist in me wants to know the answer to that, but I'm actually like,
okay, you saw me when we went to Yakima. You saw me at that thing.
Yeah.
I slept in my fucking
you
car.
slept in your car because
Hold on one second.
Because I didn't want anything
That's a
inappropriate.
perfect alibi.
You guys are my fucking alibis. You were there.
Yeah, no, you definitely slept in the car because you said you didn't want to be accused of anything. You didn't want to be involved in anything. That's definitely
Right.
Was that a cougar? I heard like a mountain lion or something.
It's that way.
Okay, I don't know. It like echoed off
It
of there.
sounds like a regular bird.
Okay, cool. I was like,
I'm muting Billy's
scared the shit out of me.
live right now, so I can actually hear this.
You're really late.
Fans.com.
If those continue on ECOnfans.com or watching right now, we'll have them back to you very soon. Thank you for hanging with us. Thank you for not calling the police on us.
Yeah, they didn't even show up.
I'm surprised they didn't show up. It would have been
Maybe that chick was bluffing.
talk to the sheriff. But
Or maybe she's watching me standing.
Never
in
mind.
the car.
yeah, I don't know.
So you weren't there for the trial. Did you try to make it?
Yeah, I got a flat tire on my way there.
Wow.
True story.
100% true. Yeah, the stream started and I got a flat tire right at the very beginning. As I was leaving, I was like, "Oh, this sucks."
I like how you guys didn't drive all the way down, like almost like you thought that I was gonna come out and be pissed.
We saw the signs here, and we're like,
Oh, so you saw the signs, but
Yeah.
for some reason other people can't fucking see
well,
the
they
signs.
weren't up here when Chris Hansen showed up, were they?
They weren't. They were all here. There is fucking.
Yeah, but he works with the authorities, though, so I think that's a little bit of a different measure.
You can see this right here. getting right there. He's going, well, he doesn't answer the door, and he called the cops. I mean, you know who also calls the cops? Oh, predators. And it's like, no, you know who calls the cops? Fucking people who need help from the cops.
Okay, and here's the thing. Even though he had a no trespassing sign, there is a history of the fact that Greg actually has some bad history with the sheriff's department, with the police. So I think this is a little bit more of a, we don't give a fuck anymore.
Hide from the cops. It's like everyone's living in a fucking bizarre world.
Ask why Kai lures them in.
Kai. How does Kai do that? There's been fake Kai profiles, if that's what you mean. People do that. You know, there's like a lot of celebrity profiles that are fake. Mind you, I'm pretty sure Kai did a whole video where it was like faking an Instagram profile to see what happened.
Pretty much.
YouTube.com/coolguycat. My promos in this thing.
There's a lot of people watching.
No,
I think there's like 3,000 people watching right now.
it must be exciting. How many?
3,000?
Oh, that's nowhere near.
Yeah, it's not.
Nowhere near a handful.
They're calling Billy pedo protector.
Protection from this.
Okay, if I had any proof that you were a pedophile, I would go to the police.
Yeah,
Before Chris answers.
absolutely. If anyone has a proof like that, you would expect them to.
Yeah.
And unless
Despite the fact that we have multiple receipts, multiple messages, multiple screenshots provided by none other than Sarah. So to both Billy the Fridge and Greg, what the fuck?
it's conveniently deleted.
I always
Weird how that happens.
I always wanted to wait for proof. I never saw it firsthand. And when Sarah came out and said that, you know, you had fucked her the entire time, you had said things like, you know, that's just a friend, you know, that's not all. And when she said differently, it made
What do you mean the entire time I said that's just a friend? You mean before she was
whenever people,
almost 19?
well, yeah, before that, definitely. Because, like, people online would accuse you of things with her when she was 16, 17.
Yeah.
They'd accuse. And I always went by what you had said and what
That's
she
why-
had said as her just being a friend that lived there, right? And there was no sexual relation between you guys.
Yeah.
And there wasn't, as far as I knew, up until Sarah said otherwise.
Right.
So I don't know. Like, the entire time, if I would have known a damn thing about you being a pedophile or anything like that.
So an 18 and a half year old says to you, you know, with all this stuff, having lived with you for so long, I could ruin your life if I wanted to.
Okay, Billy, I don't know if this occurred to you, by the way. She was taken in at what, the age 14? So technically, her being adopted by her parents, by her supposed parents, Greg and Lainey. I'm gonna address them by Greg and Lainey because fuck you both. Raised her for 4 years for her to be 18, sign a non-disclosure agreement, have sex. I'm sorry. What part of that doesn't seem disturbing to you? And on top of the fact, I'm going to say it again. Oh, 15. Okay, well, I mean, still, that doesn't make it any better for him. But Billy, again, I'm going to ask, what the fuck? I'm starting to think this is why people are getting pissed at your stream. Apart from you going to his house, I guess. But I think this is another part of the reason why people are getting pissed. Despite multiple evidence, it just feels like you're still just pushing away the truth. It's been out there. There's copies of it everywhere. How is it not good enough? Maybe that's what people are getting pissed off about. Maybe that's why people are pissing on your stream. Because I just caught that point right there. Stevie would have a fucking field day.
And then later on, they decide to say, when you say, hey, I want to do an NDA, they say, only if I get what I want. And they've been...
And again, why did you feel the need to give NDAs in the first place, Greg? Oh yeah, because you want to actually take control of situations. Right. Cool. In fact, you don't have them properly notarized and you want to compare it to a medical record of such that's not even properly notarized either, because these two different things actually have two different circumstances and means of legal certification. Okay? Yes, the thing with NDAs and medical records that they have in common is that they're not supposed to be disclosed. Right. They're not supposed to be disclosed to publicly because it's illegal to show things like that to the public. The problem is, Greg, that medical records still Medical records are different from non-disclosure agreements. Okay. Which you don't have properly notarized, therefore null and void. A medical record is supposed to disclose the information about what certain event has happened to cause a accident or a type of injury or a type of a condition or a mental condition, a medical condition. That is a completely different thing from an NDA. That's like comparing apples to fucking oranges. So why the fuck are you even bringing that up?
Repeatedly pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing.
And to Billy, why the fuck are you even eating up that garbage?
So you get a situation of sexual extortion there, and then you hit the NDA, which you can't talk about if you're a person who actually wants to have any credibility in court.
You can't even provide any evidence that there was even sexual extortion to begin with. Are you talking about them sexually extorting you? Because you haven't even proved it. Where was there a message of that? If that was the case, if you're talking about them sexually extorting you, where's the fucking proof of that? Really? Because you never got that out of Billy. You didn't get that out of Shiloh. You didn't get that out of your ex-wife. You didn't get that out of Regina. You didn't get that certainly out of Ayala or anyone else, which I don't think Ayala pretty much was a part of that because I don't think she signed the NDA. But you certainly didn't get that out of anybody else. So where was there any messages or conversations relating to sexual extortion? I'm waiting. And for you, Billy, I'm kind of waiting on an explanation of why you kind of feel like you could just dismiss that shit when it's already been out there for, I don't know, an entire fucking year.
So what I'm saying is that when somebody pressures you and then plays victim, it's a pretty fucked up situation, and you're afraid to talk to anybody because
Pressures you and plays victim. Again, this is to Greg. Pressures you and plays victim. The same story from every single ex of yours, and you want to be the victim, and then you want to pretty much do the victim blaming or virtue signal at this point, or pretty much even gaslight at this point too. Fuck you, Greg. You're a fucking liar.
as I told you the other day, you guys were like, I asked these guys, what am I supposed to do in a situation where nobody will believe you? And everyone's all shrugs. And nobody ever will.
Oh, get evidence and prove yourself, and you failed to do that.
I'm fucked forever. So let's just keep believing the person who says they have evidence, but then it always gets conveniently deleted. Numerous people. This is what's crazy. Is how many times are people going to say they have this horrible evidence, and then it gets deleted? Or then
Well, actually, Sarah provided all the evidence. Actually, I need to also kind of retract a little bit of what I've said. It was actually because of Sarah that all this was possible. It was because of Sarah the whole Chris Hansen thing came into fruition after all of this. So I need to retract that a bit. If it was not for Sarah, this entire shit would not have spewed over. So again, this Chris Hansen stuff happened because of Sarah, because she encouraged every single person who was abused by Greg to come out with their story. All right, night CT, you have a good night, all right? But right there, it kind of just goes, Greg, that you have no fucking room to talk. And Billy, come on. I thought you were a whole lot better than this. This is starting to sound very pathetic right now.
chain of custody is somehow destroyed. And that's why I'm looking at the Hansen dude, and I'm like, what the fuck are you going to do now? What are you going to do? Because your career is like brick wall. If you just
like your Patreon?
Google Chris Hansen in the news, and you see the last year of his life has been absolute hell, and he's doing everything he can to reboot his career. But he picked the absolute worst person. Because what are you going to do with a guy who always sits in his home with camera on himself all the time?
Someone said they're spamming this. So I'm just gonna say it.
Why reward spammers? They're the worst. Everyone hates them.
Can you tell me?
Well, is it because it could be an incriminating question? They said ask about Kai
You're a
sending.
good friend. You're a really good friend. I would never send anyone anything.
All right.
What I'm saying is, okay, let's imagine you are talking to somebody who you know that you should never send anything inappropriate to. Everybody accuses you of having any intention or any interest in ever sending someone that. What are you supposed to say to that? Did someone get a hold of someone's photos? Apparently. But how? And what was the context?
Did you shave a girl's head?
She wanted me to. What's wrong with that? that's so out of nowhere.
Like historically, you've been into punishment a lot, it seems, right?
No.
Like as like look.
All right, let's simulate what I do in bed. Okay.
Oh God.
All right, here you go.
Oh boy, here we go.
Yeah.
This is the thrusting shit right here.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm simulating fucking you in front of my house.
I know.
Yeah. You like that?
I mean,
You like that, you little bitch? Huh?
does Chad like it?
No.
God
No.
damn it. Yeah.
It's unanimously
Let's
pulled.
turn around.
And his friends are doing nothing to fucking pull him off and be like, yeah, dude, that's not. Mm-mm.
Was that fun? Did you enjoy
Not
that?
for me. No, I'm not traditionally.
Well, you consented on camera.
Well, I mean,
Come here to ask us.
Sorry, what? Okay, so and partially to Billy's defense, I didn't recall him consenting to that. Did anybody? Did anyone catch any, like, hear any glimpses of him saying, "Oh yeah, fuck me in the ass" or "fuck me," like, pretty much do a simulation of fucking me in the front and fucking me in the back? I did not hear one word of him consenting to that. Yeah, filming her having a seizure. It sucks.
I'm here for the audience. They want to know answers.
Let's hear from
This
God.
has been the biggest.
Billy, that should have been the part where you should have just knocked him the fuck out.
I don't know.
Because I didn't recall any fact of you consenting to that.
All those tweets that you posted on Twitter that were just like, I thought, because
Some people need a distraction from their pain.
I mean, at the time, it was right around the time that I put out a video saying that I did, associate with you.
Am I a professional troll? Do I get paid to troll people? And the more I troll, the more I get paid? There's your answer to pretty much everything.
Damn. That's
I get paid more the more people that I do.
Are they releasing Hounds? You wanna go?
That
You
sounds
wanna
like
go?
something fucked up.
Yeah, do you want to go? Because I heard the Hounds. I think they released the Hounds.
This is a private community, so we are actually going to break rules.
Yeah. Here's the thing. Thank you for talking to us. I feel like we got some good stuff out of you.
Now that we fucked, you have to call me something.
I'm gonna call Chris Hansen.
Hi, doggies.
It's a fish.
Hey.
I want to
They're nice
imagine that might be rude to the neighbor.
Yeah.
I would hate it. See someone petting
Hmm.
my
Hey, Bubba's. Oh, sweet doggies.
All right, you guys go have fun.
Thank you for talking to us.
Now let's make sure we get a handshake picture and post that in our video thumbnail as if they're somehow compliant or in agreement with trespassing.
Yeah, right.
That was
Yeah,
some
pretty much
bullshit.
that you waved off.
I was like,
Fucking
bitch, I just talked
dumbass.
to them about pressing charges. You get to fucking shake their hand like you're on their side. Bullshit.
I think you need to take a seat,
We
Greg.
got the cops called on us. That means they like us. What kind of logic is that? The cops gonna wait until you fucking,
Yeah.
There's a cop sitting here for a while until they fucking left. Yeah, they're waiting because you're the good guy. That's so nonsense. He called the police. What kind of loser calls the police when 7 creepy fucking men show up to
So
their house?
hold up, because that
Who
lady,
does that?
that lady that showed up earlier, she called the police on us. Is she a pedophile?
I don't know, but thank you.
Yeah.
That was really cool.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
really cool to use the law in an appropriate way.
Can I ask you another
She
question?
did very well.
Has people been coming here like that?
Yes.
So she's pissed, and she's like,
What about the videotaping the daughter?
I don't have to comment on anything.
It's true.
Videotaping a daughter, that's completely lacking any context. And I know it's probably talking about private shit.
Ask about his daughter. Ask about his daughter.
Ask about his daughter. We'll be asking about people's private individuals today, and next week we'll be talking about something totally different. So what's the fucking point? That's kind of irritating, though. Imagine you have a kid that you kept private from the internet, and then a bunch of fucking scumbags do everything they can to try and make that a way to monetize their videos.
I don't endorse that shit, but Greg himself, he's got no room to talk about that. But again, at the same time, there are people that scummish that do that shit. So
Tragedy, dollar signs. What kind of shit is that?
Did you get a lot of money off Christina Grimmie dying?
No, I only tweeted.
Damn.
It wasn't about money. It was about talking about the 40 kids that drowned that no one was talking about. They're talking about something else instead. But it was a bad time to make that point. But even so, those kids needed to be talked about because they all got drowned for no fucking reason. And everyone only cared about a celebrity instead of a bunch of children. Which I think is kind of fucked up.
I get that's fucked up, but like, shit happens in the fucking world. He's gonna sit around and complain about, oh, well, because no one touched upon about 40 kids getting drowned. I can understand that, but there's other shit that goes on in the world too. I'm not gonna be able to be caught up with every fucking thing that goes on. And Billy, on the other hand, is just like, I really think, at the same time, I do have to give Billy the Fridge credit because he actually, he did stand there. He did talk to him. He actually had some shit to say. He did say it. I will give him credit for that. Don't get me wrong. But I really think, unprepared or not, stick to your guns. Like, really get into it, because if you're there and if he's going to be doing some shit, you might as well get into his fucking face. You might as well. Again, obey the law and certain limitations for that. But if he was pulling that shit on me, trying to simulate thrusting me in the front and the back, I would have knocked his ass out. I do not care. And his two fucking friends should have at least helped him out with that. Because I didn't recall one time where Billy consented to that. To being, simulating being fucked in the front and the back. So that's bullshit.
Put it that way, it doesn't sound
Nobody gives the full context. They're just like, let's make the most hateful and nearsighted thing about this person and not actually explain the point that someone makes.
I'm supposed to catch you in some dirty shit, right? That's what the audience wants. Could you give us something like a misdemeanor? Could you give us a misdemeanor? Like the wetland.
I'm a former cop, so I like the law.
But Air Force cop, which isn't a real cop.
I don't think Billy's really taking this seriously. But because he's not.
They have to be victims. Some people lie, and that's what nobody. Has anybody ever lied to you? Some people lie, and nobody can comprehend that idea. That some people lie, especially when
Why? Even though most of the victims actually have almost the same exact story from their own different perspective. What? So from the receipts, the videos, the statements, the investigation, the records, and these people's stories that pretty much almost match perfectly, like golden bricks that match in size, metaphorically speaking, and it's just all lies, despite concrete evidence submitted for an investigation. I'm pretty sure if it was all lies that this case would have been dismissed the moment it started. But unfortunately, the case is still going on because there's still some compiling evidence against you, so it is not lies. So I really think Billy should have thought this one a little bit more through. I'm just going to let this play for about 3 more minutes, and then we're just going to stop it because I've heard enough. But we're gonna give it 3 more minutes, and then we're just going to kind of end it off, and we'll just do like a Q&A before we kick things back off.
To clout and money. How many of these fuckers have GoFundMes? One of them just decided to say peace out. Got in a fight with Madison DeCamera. I heard about that. Gets in a little argument with Madison DeCamera and says, I raised $3,000 from shitting all over this dude who dumped me 8 years ago. I raised $3,000, so thanks for your money, guys. Peace out. Nobody's fucking talking about that, are they? Nobody wants to point out all the fucking ugly, nasty scars and pimples of their whole case. What kind of fucking laptop gets allegedly turned into the police, but then never got turned into the police, but then gets sent to someone else, but now the chain of transfer organ, and now that laptop's back, everything's magically deleted. Like, what the fuck is this storyline?
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of fucked up shit going on in all this. There's a whole lot of questionable stuff.
Start looking inward. You have a person who tweeted out, I sold prescription drugs.
But that was like a
That's a
response.
felony. That's a fucking felony.
But because they were trying to out themselves for things they thought you
They
might
admitted to a felony.
They're not
They
going to
publicly admitted to a felony.
Nobody's going to press charges on that, right?
I don't know.
I'm sure.
No one's going to press charges on a felony. Selling prescription drugs is a fucking felony. They admitted to it. And that's the person who you're going to trust. the person who has a magically deleted shit.
So why do so many of the victim stories line up?
Exactly.
That I'm a dick? Yes.
They've all fucking lined up. So basically, Joe inadvertently just much proved my point. Their stories match up.
I'm a fucking dick.
That's what I've been saying this whole
I
time.
act like an asshole. I don't know how to tell people to get the fuck out of my life because they have BPD and I can't put up with them anymore because they make shit up, which is what a lot of
Oh, don't fucking use that as an excuse, Greg. Why am I talking about Greg? This is more about Billy. Get back on Billy.
no offense, with BPD too. I got fucking family members who have BPD, and I can't believe the shit that they think happens.
I think a lot of people.
I once had a person freak out. In my family, I had a person freak out because I smiled at them wrong. They said it was such an evil, sadistic smile when I was literally laughing at a buffet. I was like, just
Wait, why were you laughing at a buffet?
my bad.
No, that does. It's so hard to say shit here.
Ask
It's so
questions.
hard to talk. I'm
Ask
trying.
questions of both sides. Don't just ask questions of one side and follow a bunch of people who are clout surfing and trying to start GoFundMe's and Venmos. and
Have you
bullshit.
ever groomed anyone?
No. I mean, hold on though.
Oh, here's the
If you
juicy
start
part.
dating, like an adult, and you like, or if you just like, okay, for instance, I just said Billy, right? If I fucked him, that would be a little because I'm being nice to him, right? What's that?
Yeah,
Are they
that's
coming for you?
the cops are
It
after
doesn't
us.
sound like a police car. It sounds like a fire truck.
Here we go.
Yeah, maybe they're reaching out, but no. Okay, so a message to everybody. To everybody who is, not 18, you're not as hot as you think you are. You're actually fucking unbearable. Okay, your vaginas are like not special. They're not interesting, and the things you offer is basically nothing because you're jobless. You know very little about the world, and 30-year-olds are far more attractive than you are or have ever been. So stop thinking that, oh, I have candy fucking tits. Everybody wants to fuck me. Dude, a fucking 25-year-old is 1,000 times
Yeah,
more
hold on one
attractive
second.
than you, whether or not they're all fucked up.
You guys can still listen to it, but I'm going to turn on the lights. Hold on.
Why do 17-year-olds, 18, 19-year-olds think that they're hot shit? They're not. I get that. It's the dumbest shit ever. And they're like, everybody wants to fuck me. No. I mean, here's the thing. When I'm nice to you, and then if I fuck you, you can say that's grooming, but we're both adults.
How long did it take you to figure out 17 and 18-year-old pussy was the shit? Because you went through a lot of them, right? 17, 18-year-old pussies before you stopped.
The person I'm married to, we got together when they were 17. Yeah. And now they're 25.
Did you catch that?
Definitely like 25 is.
You gotta realize the storyline is targeting, right?
Yeah.
Because we like to ignore all the mid-20-year-olds that I dated, right? This is targeting. Two people that were 17 and a half, right? One of them I first started talking to November 2010. Yeah. November 2010. They say to Madison to Canberra, they say, oh, I was 16. Bitch, look at your birthday. Your birthday, you were 17 and a half. And my
And that makes it any fucking better. What?
16 is legal, and I was like, 25 or something like that. So it's like a situation where you have somebody who, in your opinion, looks 20, 21, 22, and they're pursuing you hard, and they happen to be a Canadian pop star. So did I get with a Canadian pop star and have a 9-10 month, something like that relationship where I broke with them 7 times, and I had to call the cops on them twice, and they got hauled away by the cops the second time, and then they later on act like I'm the crazy one? They literally threatened to kill themselves and make it look like I did it, yet that's who you're going to baseline your whole story on. Anyway, so the point is that there have been 2 people, okay?
Bitch. You threatened to kill yourself to get out of some alimony payment with your ex-fucking wife, and you want to tell me that after all the shit that you put Shiloh through, you're going to pull that shit? If I was standing in front of you, I would have knocked you the fuck out. I would not give a shit about jail at that point. All of that, like, I'm an angry dude sometimes, but I would have knocked the shit out of you, and I would not give a fucking shit about jail.
The person I'm with now, who is 25 and was 17 and a half when I met them, and then the other person was 17 and a half when I was 25.
Like we're going into the 18.
My point is
an adult dating a child, technically speaking. An adult, 25, to a 17-year-old, a legal adult dating a minor. By law, minor.
And when you're already falling for someone and you find out their age late, but they're legal, are you gonna let taboo stop you from having a relationship?
Okay, look, I know there's people that go through that shit. A lot of people go through that shit. A lot of people that I know go through that shit. The thing about it is that I find it odd that you're also doing the same thing with Kai or with Lainey, and she was 17 when you met her, and you ended up marrying her when she was 18. You're a fucking bullshitter.
I think is with the one. I mean, look at me. I've been married to this person for like 8 years.
That's one thing I said when people were like, she was 17. I'm like, well, he kind of stuck around.
Almost 8 years. 7.
Yeah, that was one of my defenses of you when I was in the defended Onision business.
Yeah, if you're targeting people, you typically don't have such inconsistency. I.e., like,
This is the part where I get disappointed in Billy.
24-year-old I dated, 26-year-old I dated.
Do they have problems with you now?
Hannah Minks doesn't. She doesn't give a shit. Yeah. Hannah Minks was cool. She dumped me because she's like the only girl who's dumped me in forever because I said I love you. And she didn't like that. It's too soon. It was like 2 weeks in the relationship I said I love you. I'm that kind of guy. That bitch.
I make sure I tell people I love them before I find out they're my family. I love family.
Okay, I'm just gonna stop it there. That was really all I needed. That was all I fucking needed. Oh my gosh. I really don't know what to fucking say at this point. All right, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna look one more time. Like again, at one side, okay, cool. You actually asked some good questions, but at the same time, I'm really disappointed that I really think you should have done something about it. Oh, and I just pulled a fucking muscle. Oh, shit, that hurt. Let's see what he's doing live. Man. Okay, sorry, I haven't been speaking. I was just looking on something from the stream. I'm going to probably end it off here in just a few moments. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to let me know, because I'm just going to end it off here. I'm just kind of surprised I didn't yell. Again, I can't really say anything disrespectful to, Billy the Fridge, but at the same time, I just kind of feel a little disappointed. But at the same time, credit where credit is due. You did ask some good questions. I'm not gonna lie, but I feel really disappointed that it really took you that long to sever ties with Greg. I really am, because it's obviously clear after everything that was presented, everything that was shown forth on Twitter, on social media, on YouTube, all the receipts that were copied, and still nothing. And it finally took you till last August, September to, finally come to terms with it and finally break off after all those years. Wow. After everything that's happened. Good. All right, guys. If you guys have any questions, feel free to let me know. We got about 5 more minutes before we end the stream off because we're gonna end right at the 2-hour mark. Because I got stuff I got to do. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to let me know. Sorry, I'm watching his stream right now, and that Billy the Fridge super chat thing keeps going off. I'm like losing it. All right. We still got 4 minutes left, so I'm going to wait until 4 minutes and then we'll end it off. Other than that, I do appreciate you guys coming out and watching the stream. I'm kind of surprised I didn't yell my lungs out. Surprisingly, and again, I don't really mean much disrespect to Billy Fridge. I just kind of find it a little disappointing, but again, I'm not at the same time, I know we've had our differences, and there's some shit that I really wish he could have done a lot better. But at the same time, I will at least say that he shouldn't have done that to you. He shouldn't have sexually assaulted you in the front or the back. I really think your two friends should have stepped in and did something about that. If it really made you highly uncomfortable and you didn't want him doing that to you, then your two friends should have done something about it. Also, given the fact that you actually lifted this motherfucker up, you could have dropped him on his back at any time. I think you could have done that to him too. So part of me wants to kind of believe that, but the other part of me is like, you really could have done something about it. So, all right, 3 minutes left. If you guys have any questions or anything like that, man? Yes, I do believe he will be canceled soon. Now, it may not be now, but I think at some point, I mean, again, nothing lasts forever, not even his channel. Not even my channel is going to last forever. Nobody's channel really lasts forever, but I can definitely tell you that sooner or later his channel will be closed down soon. This investigation is going on and he can no longer do any of that, then guaranteed, I believe he's going to get shut down. Definitely. Understanding the psychology. Okay, wait a minute. But you did say on Twitter, though, Billy the Fridge, that people do this for, because you said yourself as an entertainer, do this for attention and for money. Uh-oh. Okay, there we go. All right. Well, we're almost there. I do want to thank you guys for coming out. We're gonna end the stream off on the 2-hour mark, or we can give it a few seconds after. But I want to thank you guys for coming out. Everyone from Lemmy, Professor Winter, Chelsea, Gage, the Ranting Doom guy, everyone else, Alyssa, everybody else that I can talk to. Thank you guys for coming out, and Christopher as well. Christopher Cunningham, you too. Let's see, Professor Winter, CTASMR, Robert Frost, Ranter and Shades. There was more. I know Lemmy, Jack and Coke. Let's see. I already got Robert Frost. We're good there. I want to thank you guys for coming out, and thank you guys for, just taking 2 hours of your time to watch this. So I hope you guys have a wonderful night. I'm signing off. You guys have a wonderful day, all right? Signing off.